So, guys, we're back, and I know it's been a while since I've streamed. Had a lot of craziness going on lately, but the ban list came out, and we had to do a video. Oh my goodness! So I was literally blown away. We've got with us Diablos, who we're always excited to have here, and also KCS Games, and they have been our go-to guys with a lot of ban list discussions that we've talked about. So, Diablos, what was your first thought when you saw the list?
Um, my first initial thought was, "Oh my goodness, they actually hit Verte."
Yeah, yes. Okay,
They
hold on. You cut out there for a minute. So you had said, "Oh my goodness, they actually
limited.
banned Anaconda." I was right there with you because I honestly didn't think they were going to actually flat out have it be forbidden. I thought they were going to limit it. That's what I thought was going to happen with that. So I was very surprised by that. But you said something about Salman Great. So what were you saying with that?
I was actually thoroughly surprised that they back Mirage, Stalio, and Circle to three.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I can play Salamangreats almost at full power.
Yes, yes. I thought that was very interesting too. And we'll definitely get to that. So Casey, what was your initial reaction?
Well, first of all, I was just excited they did a ban list.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely agree with that. Yep,
it
yep.
was getting a little stale, even though we just got some fresh new cards. It was still a little stale.
Uh-huh.
They definitely decided they still want Despia to be the best deck going in the Nats, or
Oh
well,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
assuming we don't have another list somehow, because you know, I guess there is a couple.
Okay, I was hoping this would get brought up because I was thinking this already. So since you brought it up, is there a possibility there will be an emergency ban list if this ban list gets out of control?
It wouldn't be called an emergency one, but that's why they put that little buffer there where they can just do it anytime they want.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah,
The
very go ahead.
the only thing I think that is on their radar for that, I think there's actually two different things. So something to do with the adventure package, and then the obvious one is Hulk.
Yeah.
So if either one of those get out of control this format, I think they'll hit it. If Despia is still outperforming even some of the newer stuff that we're getting in the next set that drops this weekend, then they may touch Despia. They may not, because a lot of it's getting. I'm sure it's going to be in the tins as well.
Yeah, good point.
So product before player. So
No, that makes sense. And I'm sure Diablos would agree with that. Yes?
For the most part, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I agree, especially with, everyone's, enjoyed the Despia stuff, but Konami wants to push products. So yeah, I could definitely see that. I wasn't surprised that Anaconda got hits. That was definitely
Agreed.
something that people talked about. Lots of different ban list discussions that I watched were calling for it. And Auroradon, I get because it's such a combo enabler, so I can understand why people hit it. But Meow Mew, that one really surprised me. Casey, why do you think they hit this like that?
Okay, I have a funny reason and I have a real reason.
Okay, go ahead.
So the funny reason why they did this is because literally every single deck profile of anyone who topped an event playing that deck said that the way they hit the deck was to hit Meow Mew.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So they did it. It's their fault. Konami listened. So now they
Okay.
got their deck destroyed.
Okay.
So realistically, yes, it's the right hit. I mean, it was at one. It's their entire reason that they can just draw any of their engine pieces and then have a one card combo.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they may rework it, but honestly, I think they just have to start playing place at 3, or not place, whichever the print kids card that creates a token.
Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking
I
about.
think I think they'll have to start playing that at 3, and then make the doodle do that way,
Okay.
and then which I still think you can still play the adventure stuff with it, and they lost Anaconda too, so they can't just make DPE or anything.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
their deck is significantly hit to the point that I don't think it's in tier 1 or mid tier at all. I think it's tier 2,
Yeah.
but we'll see if anyone comes up with anything that I'm not thinking about.
Yeah. And
But
I would
yeah.
agree with that analysis. I think it definitely takes it down a notch. Diablos, would you also agree with what Casey's thinking there?
You there?
Yes.
Okay.
And can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Go right ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say yes and no. The real reason why I think, well, there's two realistic reasons why I think Meow Mew was hit. One is because prank kids are old product,
Yep.
and the ban list is mainly used to new product.
Mm-hmm.
Prank kids are just way too old to push new product.
100%.
And another reason why I think they hit it is because when you watch the latest YCS, they were everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of made the event a little boring because seeing the same combos over and over again at this point, it boils down to who opened the better hand.
Yep.
And that's kind of boring to watch. It's just boring. It's very boring.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they hit it realistically, because it's not product, and it was kind of boring to watch prank kids mirror matches over and over again. It was boring.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. Yes, I think both reasons seem very logical. And yeah, I think both of you are dead on with your thinking. Moving to the limited list, I am very proud of myself because you remember our discussion, Diablo, so I'm sure, where I was calling for this, that I thought change of heart could be possible. And I'm also very pleased that Konami had a change of heart. Oh, I know it's bad. It's bad, guys. Okay, but anyways,
I've been hearing that all over the place.
I know it's terrible. But we also called for Monkey Board because I thought it would really help Pendulum players. That idea of getting to a scale so fast with a one card enabler like that makes so much sense to me. So I was very pleased to see that. Um, Time Seal, that really surprised me. I do think that it could be slow, but I think there's potential. But the Yada Garasu, oh my. Diablos, what was your thought when you saw that?
Saw Yada Garasu go to 1. My thoughts immediately went straight to Lair of Darkness.
Uh-huh.
How can we abuse, well, not so much as abuse, but how can we play Yada Garasu? Because Lair of Darkness, the deck, well, at least the way I play it, already has a combo to where we can wipe the opponent's hand.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they brought back Time Seal 2, which is a normal trap that both Lilith and Malice can reoccur and reset and play around with, my gears started turning. The gears in my head started turning. I'm like, how can I use this? And at first I was scared. I was like, okay, somebody's gonna figure out a way to consistently get this out and consistently lock people out, and then they're just gonna ban it again.
Right.
But I think there are really not a lot of decks aside from Lair of Darkness that can continuously search, that can search Yada Garasu and can play Time Seal, set it straight from the deck. Like, there's not a lot of decks that can do that. So I think it coming back is fine, unless, well, then again, I have to see what goes on. Like, how are people going to use it? but I
That
think it's fine. I
that's my
think
fear.
Yatagarasu and Time Seal, they're fine.
Yeah, that's my fear is how is somebody going to exploit this and then show that it could be broken. Now, I like that it's at 1 at least. Thank goodness it just didn't go straight to unlimited. Casey, I know you've always got your gears turning and you also think outside of the box. Is there a broken situation with this card being back in the meta?
The only thing I have for Yada is that we do have Small World, so it's very searchable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
The only catch here is
Oh.
if the format still is where Despia can just like blow apart boards and do things, they could potentially splash it if they wanted to.
Oh
If they start their turn with branded opening, they don't need a normal summon.
Oh, it's scary. Oh gosh. Okay.
Actually pretty true.
So that's as bad as it could probably get.
Oh.
Is it gonna really do anything? I don't think so, but you know, potential's there.
Oh. And for those of you who don't know, if you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh, Yada's where if it does battle damage to you, you cannot. The effect is of the card. You can't. Your opponent doesn't get their draw phase. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes, they cannot draw a card for the draw phase.
And so if you have spent all your resources turn 1, there's nothing you can do. So if they have found a way to wipe your board and there's no reoccursions, I mean, you're locked out of the game. And I used to do that with my Prediction Princess deck, where if my opponent spent all their resources and I could break the board, all I had to do was flip Pot of the Forbidden, and then I could just shuffle their card they just drew back into their hand on their draw phase. So, I mean, it was a broken situation for them. So that was my fear when I saw this. And I think time will tell if it's going to be a broken situation. I'm hoping it won't be, but I won't be surprised if there's some duelist out there who comes up with something because that's what the duelists do. You know, they figure it out.
I just thought of something because of what you just said, though.
Okay.
So Yada has 200 attack, and I believe I'm gonna say the name wrong, but the Trickstar Tinkerbell or whatever has 200 attack.
Yeah.
I think that's a bridge for Small World in Trickstar, which means
oh gosh,
if they reincarnation draw a lock for you, they can hit you with Yada for game.
Oh my gosh.
That's just a third card to their already needed combo.
Oh my gosh. Oh guys, literally.
I'm just saying.
Woo. Okay, so you heard it here first. You heard that tech, everybody. Okay, that's quite an interesting strategy right off the bat.
Yeah. Might be able to get away with it. I don't
know. Wow. Casey, looking at the limited list, what was your first initial impression looking at the cards that they decided to do with going to 1?
Okay, so I just want to, if it's all right, can I just run down the list?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with the ones that came back. I know we just touched on them. So Yada, we've already. So I think Change Your Heart, Time Seal, and Yada are fine. They come back to 1. Change Your Heart surprises me. I would have thought that they would have put Mind Control to 3 before ever bringing this card back.
I agree. Yep.
But the fact that it's back, I really only see it making an impact in like hard going second decks like Mech Knights or like an OTK strategy like Grand Maju or Sky Strikers, I guess, could use it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
And then Monarchs. It could also help Monarchs. But that's I mean just off the top, like I don't think it's going to be game breaking. A lot of people are calling for it to be like another Snatch Steal format where it just comes back once and then leaves. But honestly, I think it's just a better mind control. That's all.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
think
and
you
it
can
doesn't
stay
have the restrictions either that mind control has. You know what I mean?
right.
So that
Yeah,
definitely
it's
better.
completely free, which is
Yes.
interesting. But I mean, I don't. I mean, what Despia already has 3 Super Poly. Like, what do they need?
Uh-huh.
What do they need to take your monster for? Uh,
Yeah.
so, anyway, so that's what I have on that. Time seals, whatever. I think it's slow at the moment. Yeah. So those we've kind of touched on. Now for the other things. Sorry, monkey board. I actually think that's insane and probably to help push product because new pendulum support.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
so that all makes sense. Now let's go to Jet. So Jet, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is a thing you can do with Jet, with the machine deck, and so that helps push the Therian stuff that they were doing.
Uh-huh.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not an Earth
No,
Machine
no,
player,
you're
so
fine. You're okay.
I don't.
Me neither.
But that's my idea as to why they brought it back. Auroradon's gone, so you can't just like use it with that. So it's fine to be back at 1. Halk's at 1. That's silly because most people only put it at 1. I think they did that to go, hey, if you guys break this card any more, then we're probably just going to ban it.
Right.
So it's like a warning shot. I think the same goes for shooting Riser Dragon, because it was actually getting kind of broken. And I know a lot of people that were playtesting upcoming formats were starting to play 2.
Okay.
So it is somewhat a relevant hit to hit 1. The Red Rose Dragon, it really doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's the better starter, but you can just play more copies of the other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really didn't. I don't feel like it changed a whole lot of what it can do, and plus they still have Hulk, so Hulk can just summon the Red Rose from the deck and then do the combo anyway.
Right. Right.
So
No,
it's
totally
not
agree.
the biggest deals. So, but yeah, that's really the biggest things there. Also, if there's time at the end, I would like to share my quote unquote game breaking combos that I've come up with for what's still relevant.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. Diablos, what was your thought looking at the limited list? Like, do you think it's okay?
Personally, yeah, I think the limited list is okay. Um, I think Konami may have heard us talk about, hey, let us experiment with some things because they slowly started to peel things off the list, especially the pendulum stuff.
Yeah.
The pendulum stuff, they started. I've noticed that they're peeling them off really, really slowly.
Yeah, I agree.
Change of Heart particularly interests me because if you really think about it, if you look at the new stuff that's being pushed out, particularly what's that one dragon that the Albas deck always use? Mirror Jade, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
That card is a house to deal with because if you don't deal with it, it can banish a card once every turn. Well, banish one of your monsters once every other turn. And also, when you do finally out it, it destroys all your stuff.
Right.
However, with Change of Heart, you can just take it, banish one of your opponent's monsters, and then just link it off, and then it won't get its effect.
Absolutely.
So I feel like Change of Heart is a necessary evil that we need to have in order to deal with, decks like that. Because on Nexus, me just playing around testing Salarin Great, I ran across that deck, and that dragon was so hard to deal with because it's like if I don't deal with it, I'm losing something.
Mm-hmm.
But if I deal with it, I lose everything. So I think Change of Heart was something that was necessary, that needed to be done. You know, sort of as to like check the meta. I understand why they hit Red Rose because, again, I say it made the YCS boring to watch to see people do the same things over and over again.
Right.
Christian Halka Pyrex, I think it was kind of pointless to put it at 1 because, like Casey said, most people only run 1, so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of doesn't make sense. Shooting Where's the Dragon, I see why people limited it, but I wasn't really too concerned about it. Jet Synchron, I Jetson, I understood why it was banned, but then again, I kind of didn't because the most I've seen Jet Synchron being played was with Aurora and stuff, or even in Outlich.
Mm-hmm.
So that coming back to 1 really wasn't. It didn't really make a difference to me. So
Yeah, I think Jet
yeah,
Synchron's fine, especially with how many tokens have been taken out now, like the big token generators like Auroradon. I think it's honestly going to be okay
except
because
for
that was such a big.
Scapegoat.
Oh, what'd you say? I missed that.
We'll touch on that in a minute.
Oh, okay. So Casey has plans. So okay, that's going to be very interesting. I do like your hot take there, Diablos, on Change of Heart as a way to counter Despia. I agree. That is a house of a card to deal with, and this could be a solution. Casey, do we anticipate people playing more Book of Moon in this format as a way to counter the Change of Heart to make it fizzle?
It doesn't make it fizzle.
If I activate Change of Heart, wouldn't if you activate Book of Moon, Chainlink
It doesn't
2,
stay face up.
right, but do you still get to
It does
take
not.
that?
So
How does that resolve
yes.
then?
So
Yeah.
how the ruling would work is that since the target never left the field, the target is still applicable to be taken
Oh,
because it
so
didn't go
then
anywhere.
Nexus has this wrong. Oh, that's
Correct.
interesting. Okay,
Correct.
because when I play this on Nexus, it doesn't allow you to take the card.
That's weird.
Oh, that's
That is
very
weird.
interesting. Yeah, because there's been several times where I go to do something with Change of Heart, and then if someone flips book, it does not resolve. That's really interesting. Okay, and it makes it
Oh,
fizzle.
okay. I think I probably know why. I think I probably know
Okay,
why.
go ahead and share.
Because when you face down, now I might not be 100% correct because mind control doesn't do this, but when you flip it face down, um, I guess it's no longer public knowledge when it's flipped face down, so it's not applicable to be taken anymore. But that kind of doesn't make sense because mind control still takes the monster.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's kind of weird. That's a weird interaction.
the only
Yeah,
difference is that Change of Heart says take control of it.
yeah. That's the part
So
that's so weird.
Oh, okay.
instead of, so I guess they're trying to apply problem solving card text of our age versus an old card. I don't know if that's right or not because I feel like if it was to be rewritten, it would say that monster, which means it's still that monster,
Okay.
even if it
Because
down.
I know,
So
because I've used the card often in duels against other people. In fact, I think I've had
yeah,
this with Carlos a few times, where I'll activate Change of Heart, and then he will literally flip his Book of Moon, and then all of a sudden my card fizzles. So
now
that's interesting.
uh,
Yeah,
that's weird.
yeah, that is really weird. Guys, I'll have to definitely check on that, and then I'll post if that is accurate or not. I'm gonna go with what these guys are saying though, that it should take it because they definitely know rulings much better than I do. So at least that's been my experience in the simulator, but it's been a while though since I've seen that interaction. So maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. But yes, but Diablos, I really do like that take. I think that's a definite way to deal with that. Very nice. Let's go ahead and move on though. So we're gonna go to the next one here. So if we look at the semi-limited, I was not surprised to see Pot of Desires go to 2. I don't think it ever needed to be hit to begin with. Um, just because I feel like people use it often, it's very effective, but I don't think it needs to be hit. I think there's other problem cards to hit. Benton surprised me because I really think that when you're looking at the ritual decks that are out there, like Drytron, it's very good. I mean, it's such a great combo piece for that deck. So that one definitely surprised me. I was very happy to see Light Stage at 2. I'm hoping we'll get it to 3 eventually. I think the Dynamite Knight, the True Draco, is fine. I think it could have went to unlimited. And then Wall of Revealing Light, I'm shocked that that's not unlimited. I don't even know why that's still there.
That one's a test. The Wall of Revealing Light is a test. That is a tech card that Dynamorphia can use.
Oh, okay. Expand on that, Casey.
That's totally true.
So they need to be at 2,000 or less life in order to just like be crazy.
Yes, right.
You can just pay 6K with Wall of Revealing Light. At least it's a floodgate, and they have to out it in order to attack with anything. Because it says that whatever life points you pay, they they have to get over it. So they just flat out can't attack until they deal with the card, and then all of your additional stuff that Dynamorphia has, now you're good because you're under that 2,000 threshold.
That makes sense. Now, Taco Tony asked a good question here. Why was Wall of Light limited to begin with? Wasn't it because of last turn or something where there was a way to get an OTK on your opponent because they couldn't special? Casey, I'm sure you would know that.
Yes, it's last turn in Jowgen.
Yes,
that was the
spiritualist. Yes.
With, yes. However, the other reason was way back when we still had self-destruct button. There was a way to do this, and there was also another thing with reversal quiz. So tons of OTK shenanigans, alternate win conditions, or tying was due to this card. So that's why it got hit.
Okay. Makes sense. And I forgot about that archetype you mentioned where if they go down to the 2000, that's the dinosaur one, right?
Yep, Dynamorphia. Yes. And they got a crazy trap.
Yeah, that's a really, we covered that in news you might have missed, guys. If you check back, we have an entire discussion that we did on that. And yeah, I totally forgot, man. That instantly gets you exactly where you want to be. That's such a great point. Fire Formation 10 key, I'm sure, Diabolus, you were thrilled that this went to 2. I know I was.
I definitely was.
Yes. And I think it's the right decision. Tri-Brigade, I feel, has just not been as relevant. I know it had a top here recently. Correct me if I'm wrong, Casey. It had some placement at a YCS. Is that right?
Yeah. It's been doing really well as a branded Tri-Brigade list.
Yes.
Which they can no longer do since Verte is banned.
Right.
So they need to get something back.
And I think that's the right decision. At least give them something if you're going to take something away. So I was pleased. Yeah. And for all those other decks in Diabolus, I know you and I have talked about this before, like Ancient Warriors, they need that card, And so that was something I thought, oh, thank goodness that they brought that back. Diabolus, I'll start with you this time. What were your thoughts, though, overall about the semi-limited list?
I was more surprised than anything because I think the biggest surprise for me was Cyber Angel Benton.
Yeah.
But then again, it does make sense because we no longer have Ava. So there's no way that it's like Drytron have to revert back to the beginning where they were searching I forgot that one card. Vanity something.
Vanity's oh gosh, a ruler, right?
Yeah.
The one that stops you from special summoning.
Now they have to go back there.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that one, the one that locks you out of playing.
Yes.
So now they have to go back to that one. They have to go back down that route, which is more easier to deal with rather than Herald of Ultimateness. Herald of Ultimateness and Orange.
In Orange Light,
just constantly stop everything that you do.
Yes.
Another thing that I really appreciate is Dynamite Knight coming back.
Mm-hmm.
For real, he really should have been back at 3 because I think with cards like Skill Drain, stuff like that coming back, True Draco have more of a fight chance.
Yeah.
They're now
Great
like kind of
point.
like rogue now.
Yeah.
Simply because they're back. So I think they're testing the waters to see if they're gonna do anything with all these floodgates and stuff. Another card that I was surprised that came back just as I was thinking about picking up the deck itself was Fight Stage. I didn't think it was going to come
Yeah.
back, but now that it's at 2, I don't make the deck start.
Yeah. I'm excited
But I
about
think
this.
the card that I appreciate the most is Tinky.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm right there with you. I was super excited about Light Stage coming back. I love the deck. I love burn decks, and so this is such a fun little engine to throw into different type of archetypes as well. I remember when Links were the main format. This was in lots of different builds. It was very effective. And I'm super excited to see Fire Formation Tenki back because, like we had said earlier, it just hurts so many other decks out there by taking that away. And so it's nice that that's back for those decks. I think that was definitely the right move. Casey, what was your thoughts
Absolutely.
when it came? Sorry. What was your thoughts, Casey, when it came to the semi-limited list?
All right. So first one, if you recall from when they first hit Desires and we talked about it, I said they would immediately bump it back up to 2 and then back to 3.
Yep, and you were right. You had it.
So I just want to throw that out there. I figured they would do exactly what I'm saying. There was no reason to hit it to begin with, other than they wanted us to play their other pot, but it was weird because they brought this back before the pot could get reprinted. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Weird things. But so Dynamite. I'm gonna touch on this for a second. So Dynamite's fine. I think it might be fan service because plenty of people have been asking for this card to be back at 3.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
But also it scares me because I know Konami too well, and as they do like to push their product. If you guys haven't seen this, I don't know if you did a news thing about it yet. There is a little archetype, or maybe just support cards, I'm not for sure, that is supposed to help out quote unquote trap monsters, but only specify continuous traps.
No, I have not covered that. No.
Oh.
That's
So,
interesting.
Oh, okay.
So Dynamite gets you continuous traps.
Yes.
That might be a way for them to reprint some relevant things for True Draco to sell a set, and also push that kind of archetype that they want to push.
Nice.
So that's my suspicions there. I'd like to believe it was fan service and just give us cards back, but
right.
Yeah.
Knowing them, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes. Ben 10 annoys me.
Yes.
So here's my gripe, right? So why keep a deck like Drytron around when you're not really doing anything with it? So they already were doing what Diabolus touched on, which is the Vanities Ruler. They were already doing that with the new branded list. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Yep. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the new branded list, that's what they were already ending on. So the second Benton can search them something along the lines of Herald of Greenlight.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's the one that stops the traps or the spell. Yeah.
The spell. Yeah. So this second one will give them access to a different kind of search, which that's why I said it kind of annoys me, because they can loop Ben 10 as many times as they wanted to anyway. And with DD Crow's popularity given Despia, they just gave them another Ben 10. So once you hit their first one, they can get another one still.
Oh,
So
so
that is
good.
annoying.
Yeah. That makes
uh,
complete sense, Casey. Yep.
but also we have yet to touch on this, and we're in semi limited. I was gonna touch on it with my combos, but they didn't hit Scythe, guys. They
I
needed to hit
know.
Scythe.
How did that not happen? I was thinking the same thing with that.
We aggravated the dogs.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
You're fine. Don't worry. Oh, where is
Alright.
Scythe? There he is. Okay. Casey, I'm glad you brought this up. I thought for sure this was going to get hit in some way, and I am shocked that it did not.
So this is one of the few decks that can just generically run a Scythe if they wanted to, but like I said, they're kind of on Vanity's Ruler instead. But if they wanted to, they could run Scythe and just search it. They can hard search it and pop it still.
Jeez, that is just crazy. Good point. That's a really, really good point, man. Yeah. So yeah, continue your thought as you keep going down the list.
Tinky we already touched on.
Yeah.
I also think that there's probably some other things that's there, but I'm sure it's mainly to just do service to Tri Brigade getting slapped on the wrist, pretty much. Light Stage.
Sorry.
Light Stage
Oh,
is the last one I want to talk about. So this is a selling point. This is not for Trickstar players. This is actually for the fairy deck. We just got in Ghosts from the Past 2, we got all of the agent cards.
Yes.
So one of their links needs fairies, and Corvain is a fairy, and that's a free extender. So this is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all fairies, aren't they? Isn't that whole archetype fairies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So literally Light Stage or Licorice, or not Licorice, Candina.
Yeah,
Candina's is the link to. It'll create, because either one.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it'll give you the link too. So there's that.
Wow, man. Yeah, Casey, I with
also
Diabolus, I didn't think of that. Go ahead,
I'm
Diabolus.
sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna say I heard briefly that you guys are talking about Artifact Scythe. Me personally, I don't think it's a problem.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
I don't think Artifact Scythe is a problem. I think the actual problem is really Dagda. That's actually the problem.
Okay,
because
expand on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Scythe has always been played. Like Scythe has always been, teched into, especially as a first countermeasure against, as a side deck. It's always been teched in, but only 4 cards were needed, which was 1 Scythe and 3 Artifact Sanctum. So if you had an Ash, you can stop the Sanctum, and if they were to get Artifact Scythe off and they don't kill you, then they essentially have 2 bricks in their decks, which is, well, I don't know about everybody else. I don't like bricks. But however, 100%. With Artifact Dagda, not only is it very easy to make, but it's very easy to trigger its effect to set Scythe directly from the deck, which circumvents running Artifact Sanctum altogether. So I feel like Dagda, if they want to deal with the Scythe, Dagda should have been a one that they hit instead of Scythe itself, because Scythe itself, to me personally, isn't a problem. It's not. Then again, I play a lot of decks that really don't rely on the extra deck too much. But to me, Scythe isn't a problem.
That is very interesting.
Because Dagda pulls it straight from the deck.
It literally depends on the deck I'm playing. I would agree with that. Because I run quite a few decks I don't need that for, but ooh, that's interesting. Casey, what's your thinking there?
All right, so again, we're all just discussing. I'm not going to come at you. That's not what I'm doing here. Okay.
It's okay to have different thoughts, Casey. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I want to break this down to is, can you agree that Dimensional Barrier is really popular in this format?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. So what does D Barrier not hit? Links, right?
Yeah.
You can't hit links.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So Scythe can hit anything from the extra deck. So that is the ultimate version of D Barrier. The only difference is D Barrier can happen on your turn, which is fine, but it still had to be set for an entire back and forth, which doesn't usually happen. So what I'm gonna say is, with your logic on Scythe not being a problem, D Barrier is a actual necessity because of decks like Despia and Sword Soul, where they mainly do one thing.
Right.
If D Barrier's so good, right? So if you're thinking is that way, so why go with D Barrier instead of a floodgate like non-fusion area? Why don't we see that versus D Barrier? Because they really want to target Despia. It's the top deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So see, that's where Dagda comes in, because Dagda can set Scythe.
Well,
that actually circumvents all them other cards.
What I'm saying is, it all comes back to Scythe. So Scythe is the better version of all of that. So when you're saying, you can just play the artifact Sanctum to bring out Scythe and do that, that's the problem. Because whether or not we had Dagda, people would still play that, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I see what you guys are saying.
Then by that logic, Amorphous Goliath is the same.
Well,
right?
You can't summon it on your opponent's turn outside of like Sphere, which makes it a 0/0, but still, it's a floodgate effect. It's not a lingering effect, so it's not nearly as good as Scythe. Once it activates, it's there. That's the problem with Scythe. It's a lingering effect. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I see what both of you are saying there. So when I look at what you're saying, Diablos, I usually do have a way to deal with Scythe. Most of the decks I play, I don't have to rely on my extra deck. But there are times, though, where I do have a deck I'm relying on it, and it is a problem when I run into it. It's very, very annoying to deal with, and sometimes I don't have the out. So that is very problematic at times. So it's a big fat way of saying no, you don't get to play.
The difference between Dagda and Scythe is Scythe in the decks that can search it is broken, and Scythe can just be reborn on your opponent's turn if you wanted to even play that way. Like Baron can just bring it back during the standby phase. There's tons of different ways to get to Scythe now than there ever has been. Dagda has 1.5 million disruption points, and then the fact that you know exactly where they're setting the card means that you can cosmic it or get rid of it because you know exactly where it is. So that's my argument between the Link monster versus the actual problem card. That's all.
So then at that point, and that by that logic, Scythe is almost essentially the same way, because you're saying you know where they, so you can cosmic it. Okay, you know they're going to summon it, so you can imperm it.
So imperm fits, but Valor doesn't. You can Valor Dagda on their turn. You can't Valor on your turn. Do you get what I'm getting at? Like, there's less cards to interact with Scythe than there is Dagda.
Yes and no, because there are cards that can deal with them. It is that they're kind of stuck behind a wall, like one off the top of my head, like forbidden droplets. That's a way to deal with scythe, but it's locked behind a paywall to where you got to pay X dollars, to find a way to deal with this. And that's kind of all what it boils down to is money.
All right.
That's probably why Konami didn't hit it, is because money, forcing you to pay for expensive cards, or forcing they're almost like kind of playing the scenes where they make these cards that are really expensive your only options. Well, not your only option, but the best option to deal with these opposing things.
Yeah.
So like like me me personally, I don't think that scythe is an issue because there are ways around it.
Okay.
There are ways around Dagda too.
Yes. So the ultimate thing that I just thought of how to explain it. We would not be talking about Dagda if Scythe did not exist.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's absolutely true.
So Scythe is the problem card because Dagda wouldn't be on the discussion list if Scythe was not a card. If Dagda can only set stuff like the other artifacts, Moral Talk or Lancia, then we wouldn't be even having this discussion. So that's what I'm trying to say is like I think Scythe ultimately needs to be banned versus the Dagda. But anyway,
But see, that's where I say Dagda is a problem though, because nobody. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody would be playing Scythe if Dagda didn't exist, because they've been doing that before. But Dagda makes it so much more easier, and it makes it actually does. It makes it a lot more easier to play because it's just two monsters. Plus, you can activate the effect by using one of your own monster effects when they're linked off, or that activates in the hand. It's just very easy to get Scythe out the deck. Whereas if you play 3 Sanctums and a Scythe, you have to hope to draw the Sanctum, or pretty much, you have to hope to draw the Sanctum. But with Dagda, it makes it so much easier to get out, and it makes Scythe less of a brick, and that whole engine altogether less of a brick, because it's just two monsters that makes Dagda, and then Dagda can just bring it out.
Yeah, I see both of your guys'
So it's almost
points.
like with the engine.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Go ahead, Diabolus.
We can agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I think both of you have such tremendous points here, and I really do see what both are saying. That Diabolus, from your point of view, you're looking at this is so easy to search this out. Then, if you have the combo piece you're talking about, versus just here, I've got 3 in the deck. Yeah, I see what both of you are saying, at least if that's the way I'm understanding the conversation. But yeah, a great discussion, guys. But yeah, definitely something I think we'll let the audience decide. And guys, you let us know in the comments. What do you think is the bigger problem there? Because I see both perspectives, and they both make very good sense to me. Thank you, guys. That was a great discussion. Moving on now to the Unlimiteds. I was not surprised at all. Night Assailant, I thought could have been off a while ago, so I think that's a good decision. Scapegoat, it's like they flirt with this option all the time. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, it's okay. Let's go to 1. Okay, now let's bring it back to 3. A Hero Lives was very interesting to me because I remember when it first got hit. So I thought that was quite an interesting thing there. But I think for all hero players are very excited. Trishula 3 is interesting. I'm sure there's going to be players out there that are going to experiment, see how much they can get that a person's first hand down to maybe 2 cards to start with. But I was most excited, like you, Diablos. The Salamangreat stuff going full powered here. Yes. I mean that is just so the right decision, and I have no doubt all those players are super excited. Diablos, is there something we're missing though? because I feel like you guys have both brought up that there's new product coming out that seems to be pushing and guiding all these cards coming off. Is that the case in any way for the Salamangreat stuff? Is there something I'm not seeing?
They just recently released Salomon Blaze Dragon and Ghost from the Past Second Haunting, so that's probably why they brought a lot of the Salomon Great stuff back.
And Heat Soul.
Oh yeah, that's right,
Heat Soul
Casey.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Yeah, good point. Good point. Um, but looking at the list here, Casey, I'll start with you on the whole thing. What was your initial thoughts?
All right, so I mentioned it when Scapegoat was at 2, but no one decided to break it. Scapegoat being at 3 is now going to be insane because literally, all the pile decks. Now they have a new best friend. Now they have something that's a 3 of that they can reliably use to defend their life points because no one is OTKing through 4 goat tokens in this format. They literally will just chump block everything. And on top of that, if anything lingers, you can probably get to an access code.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of just insane.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
So I think Scapegoat, it is what it is. I don't know why. Do they think token collectors checking it because we still have the right package? I don't know, because I don't know that people are using token collector unless they're directly trying to hit Sword Soul at this point, which could definitely be a thing, but Sword Soul can deal with token collector pretty easily. So, but yeah, moving on. Salamangreat Circle, I think, is the definite winner. They get their 3rd reinforcements of the army / protection card. That's awesome. Mirage Stalio, I don't care. It could be at 50. It doesn't matter. I think the deck's doing bigger, better things without Stalio. It isn't. Don't get me wrong. It is a consistency card. It is a mode for that deck to do something, but I don't think that mode is relevant, which is why it's fine at 3.
Yeah.
Trish, in in past formats that I have played, this gives me kind of like how Yada is. It gives me PTSD. It's like, can they really do it? And for the record, it's 4 cards that they're almost guaranteed to get because 2 Trishes on the field goes into Inner Blathnir, which can rip another card.
Yeah, Casey, I'm glad you said that. Yep. Oh my gosh.
So the other thing is shooting Riser Dragon was a way to do Trish on your opponent's turn. So I think that's another reason why they hit it, is because they were bringing this back. I don't know why they're bringing this back, though. So that's something scary to think about. And then the more nightmare fuel, danger, is Night Assailant. So
really?
So Night Assailant's pretty cool. Danger effects will trigger him.
Oh, so I did not know this. Oh my gosh.
So if you send him off of a danger and you have 2 going, which I understand, it's not super reliable. We do have, card. I keep mentioning it, Small World. We do have ways to get to him, and then we just need another way to have him in the yard. So is it consistent? No. But if you mix it with other flip effect monsters, you might be able to get something going there. So there's an idea behind it. But ultimately, if you have 2 in rotation, all of your discards are free.
Oh, wow.
So not necessarily just on dangers, but if we get into a slower format somehow, that is something that's pretty dangerous. So anyway, it's probably not going to be anything big for anything new, put it that way. And then A Hero Lives, I think they needed to give some sort of service to Hero stacks after hitting Verte, because now they have to hard draw the Fusion Destiny.
Yeah, in order to make things work with DPE, yeah.
But it does scare me because Hero Lives, I believe it doesn't have any restrictions, right?
No, you can do that as many times as you want in a turn, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I meant like it doesn't lock you into anything. It doesn't
No,
lock you into heroes, right?
nope.
Okay. So
Almost positive on that. I will check that, but yeah, I think you're right with that.
if that is the case, that is a 1 card Noble Knight is sold.
Oh gosh.
So there's gonna be things there.
Yeah, there's no restrictions here,
So-
Casey. If you control no face-up
The
monsters,
Warriors gotta
pay
need Telly
half your life
because-
points, special summon 1 level 4 or lower elemental hero monster from your deck, but you can't control a face-up monster.
Right. So basically heroes, aka warrior support, got a emergency teleport.
Yeah.
So-
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm really excited to share my stuff if that's okay.
Well, we'll get to that here
Yeah,
in just a
after.
second because I want to hear what Diablos was thinking. So,
Yes.
Diablos, your thoughts now when you saw the unlimited list?
The unlimited list. Well, I'm gonna just go down a list in order because
Sure.
I have it written in front
Yeah,
of me.
go right ahead.
Night Assailants. I wasn't. Well, I don't think Night Assailant is anything to worry about. I'm not sure how it triggers off of danger effects because it's a win effect.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
I'm not sure
When
if
this
it's
card
timing
is
or
sent
not.
from the field to the grave, yeah, or the hand.
Is the last thing on a danger is
My,
what's the last thing on a
I'm sorry. Say it again.
what's the last thing for the danger effect?
I'm going there now. Now I can
All
see.
right, I'm about to look it up right now.
It's like-
Yeah, I'm literally like, okay, where's danger? Okay, so danger Bigfoot. Okay. Let's see. If this card is discarded, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it.
The other part.
Let's see. Okay, then if the discarded card was not a danger, special summon 1 danger Bigfoot from your hand. If you do, draw 1 card.
Okay. So yeah, I'm mistaken. There it will miss the timing on the dangers.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hey guys, that's why we talked through it.
Fair enough.
But go ahead, Diablos.
I'm gonna skip over Trish for a second because I got my thoughts on that. Mirage Stallion could have came back to 3 a long time ago because most Salamangreat decks nowadays only play 1.
Yep,
because
100%.
the extra deck space is really tight.
Yeah.
Like it's really tight. Plus with the addition of Heat Soul, I think people are definitely rearrange their extra deck to accommodate Heat Soul. A Hero Lives. I didn't really think the Warrior deck implications. I didn't really think that far ahead. My test was, oh, cool. Heroes get another card to supplement the loss of DPE. Oh, that's nice. Solomon Great Circle. I was very happy to have that back to 3 because now we can play around the group.
Yes.
Because we are tired of rocks. We
Yep.
want fire animals. We're tired of getting rocks. Now, Scapegoat is very interesting. Interesting because it was just working on. Okay, don't call me names. But I was working on a Mystic Mind deck that can be very aggressive, and Scapegoat is one of those cards that enables that aggression.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the fact that they put it to 3, I'm like, hey, I'll take it. But then I gotta think about other decks too that can just get a free access code talker or even a free Boral Sword Dragon or
Yeah.
I
was
gotta
thinking
think
the
about
Boral
these
Sword
other decks
Dragon.
too that can abuse it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Huh?
Oh, I was thinking the same thing about the Boral Sword Dragon. Just because you get 2 Link Karimbos, Mrs. Radiant, and then you're right into your Boral Sword. I mean that's super easy. Yeah, so I think Scapegoat's a danger.
Exactly.
But continue your thought, yeah.
And And the last card I want to touch on is Trishula. Um, Trishula, as we all know, it's not once per turn.
Yeah.
And there's another particular deck that abused another particular deck that we didn't like, and that's Virtual World. That's where my mind immediately went to when I saw Trishula at 3. Okay, so Virtual World is now back in the meta. All right, fine.
Wow. I didn't think about that.
It requires 3 monsters.
Say that again, Casey.
They can't make it consistently because it requires 3 monsters.
Oh,
a tuner and 2
yeah,
other.
it's 1 tuner plus 2 non-tuner monsters. But wait, there's
Oh, okay.
You can still do that though, can't you? With Virtual
Yeah, but
World?
it's a lot harder than just making a 6 and a 3 come out.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying. It's still doable, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Now that I think about it, immense because they can modulate the levels with that one trap card Chuche. Yeah, they can modulate the levels, but it's a lot more of an investment for them.
Yes.
To do that, unless they increase the number of genre that they play. But Trishula, that kind of scared me because there are a lot of synchro decks like Infernoble and just a bunch of things that can make a level 9 very easily.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So that kind of scared me a bit. But other than that, the rest of the list is the rest of Unlimited's totally fine by me. I have no complaints.
Yeah, I think they did a really nice job with this list. I thought it shakes up things in a nice way. Lots of players got things back that they were hoping for. And it definitely, what got hit, I think were good hits for the most part. But yeah, pretty solid overall. Casey, if you were to say a miss, I know we've talked about Artifact Scythe, but if you were to think of a miss, what was a definite miss for you on this list?
I would have liked to see something of Despia to get slowed down.
Yep, me too.
Maybe branded opening to 1.
Yep.
Something small. It's too new and too expensive to get completely wiped, but something along those lines, and then maybe potentially something other than Auroradon for Sword Soul to get hit. Maybe just go with the consistency cards for both of them. Hit the emergence to 1, hit the branded opening to 1, and then see how it does. I mean, I'm sure they're still going to be perfectly fine. It's just either that or you can completely neuter a deck that would get hurt because of another deck using its engine, and that's just ban Patchwork. That would slow down the turbo version of Despia really well.
Yeah, great point. Diablos, what was a definite miss for you?
Besides Artifact Dagda, besides that, I don't think there were any. Personally, I don't think there were any because, well, I want to say something in the Brave engine or the Adventure engine, but I feel like that engine is okay because you need to have a Ghost Ogre to stop it, but I feel like that engine is okay. Plus, it's too new for them to hit anything from out of there. Like, it's brand spanking new. So, other than Dagda, there's really not much of a miss for me. I think this was almost a perfect ban list.
Yeah,
for this format.
It was really good. And speaking of the format, Casey, do you think this is going to change the tempo that we're in? Do you think this is going to get us to be slower, or are we going to stay the same?
Oh, we're fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel we're quick. Absolutely.
and that normally happens in time for Nats. So that's not surprising.
Oh, I never even knew that. I never realized that. Now that I'm thinking about it, that does make sense.
Yeah, they want the clock to go faster.
That definitely makes sense. Diablos, do you think that will be the case too? That we'll continue to stay fast then, but like we have been?
I think I personally think it can be a little bit of both, where you have some decks that, with skill drain coming back and all these weird floodgates coming back, I feel like there is room for decks that want to play a slower grind or control style, like Eldritch, Dynamo, even something like Unchained,
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
can, grind things out and be slower. I think we might see both because a lot of people, well, from what I read on the Yu-Gi-Oh fan pages where they revealed the list, a lot of people were thoroughly disappointed because the decks that they had made for the event up soon
yeah,
basically got destroyed.
yeah.
So I think as a quick solution or a quick way to come up with an easy deck that'll steal wins is to play a slower control deck. And I
Mm,
think that's what many people are gonna gravitate because it's very easy to build. It doesn't take a lot of play testing. So, you know, I mean, that's just my hypothesis. I think they're just gonna switch to more score control decks like Elch, or even I kind of no, not Guru. Slower decks like that could see
yeah.
more play at that event solely because a lot of these decks that people were banking on spending, that people were spending on, they're they're gone. There's no more DPE. Well, it's consistent. A lot of these decks are just done. So they might just switch to a control deck just to
Kind of grind it
just
out. Hmm.
have a deck to play.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if they don't have the money. I could totally see something like that happening. Um, Casey, you had mentioned that you have some hot takes you wanted to go through. Walk us through some of those.
So I have three different quick little combo savers for decks or something. I don't know what you want to call it. So we'll start with the deck that I recently had success with, Cyber's Eldritch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we lost our Verte combo.
Yeah, yeah.
So I came up with two different little replacements. So sticking on to the Cybers part, all you need is any of their original starters. So Dotscaper, Cybers Gadget, etc. Those guys. So you turn them into any of the link ones, whatever. As long as it's a Cybers, it'll come back or create a token, and then you turn those into a Splash Mage, and then Splash Mage can bring back the original starter, and then those will go into Heat Soul, and then now you can start drawing on your turn and your opponent's turn, which
Oh,
in that deck plays a lot of hand traps because they play cross out, and it can also help you draw into your Eldritch control cards. So it's just a little nice new thing, new toy that we have, instead of doing a scythe block kind of thing.
nice, nice. I like it.
Now, if we want to do the scythe lock, I have something for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's two different scythe locks in general. So this is why I wish it got hit. So one is you. What's his name? I'm sorry. It's the Predator plant. It's the one that summons the Cobra from the deck.
Oh, Scorpio.
Ortho Scorpio or something.
Yeah, Ortho Scorpio. Yeah. So this thing, so if you think about how Verte worked, you had to have two monsters in order to make it. So having two cards, aka two monsters, to make this combo work, is relatively the same. Even though I know a lot of people use tokens or other extenders, but so theoretically you're not wasting any more card economy. There is only one more additional out your opponent can have. They can ash this card versus ashing Verte, because you can't do that. So it's a little weaker, but it still summons out the Cobra, and then Cobra can get you Fusion Destiny, and then you make those two into Dagda, and then you activate Fusion Destiny, triggering Dagda, and you have type DPE.
Nice. Oh wow, that's pretty good, Casey.
And you can still play 3 Lone Fire Blossom to trigger the Scorpio, and I think Predator Plant's got another summon card. I'm not for sure. I know they got some support in the new set. I haven't read it all exactly. So there's that. And then the last one is what I feel is the craziest one, thanks to Jet Synchron. So you can do this in like just any 1-card Hulk combo. So like Sangan turning into All Mirage, getting you Crusadia Arborea to special, to make the Hulk, whatever you want to do there. So you make Hulk, summon out your Jet Synchron, turn Jet into Link Kribo, pitch a card to bring back Jet. Jet and Link Kribo makes Dagda, and then you can just pass on that. Obviously, you can activate other cards or whatever, but you can trigger on your opponent's turn Hulk's effect, which then in turn will trigger the Dagda to set Scythe. And you're going to go into Wonder Magician, TG Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician is then going to pop your Scythe and bring it back, and then quick effect, you can synchro with the Scythe and make a Baron.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
So some cool stuff.
Ooh, that's pretty spicy. That's pretty spicy. I like it.
I like my combos.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty good, Casey. How about you, Diablos? Any hot takes you got?
Not so much as hot takes, but I think just as how he was excited for Jet Synchron to come back, I'm more excited for Yatagarasu because, like I said in the beginning, Lair of Darkness can definitely take advantage of Yata, especially since with Light Stage coming back to 2, now Trickstar Reincarnation is more searchable now, so we don't have to rely on Lilith. We don't have to have Lilith do all work in setting Reincarnation, but since Light Stage is back, you can tour guide. It's best to have a level 3 fiend or Ties of the Brethren in hand, but preferably you want tour guide. So you normal summon tour guide. Tour guide effect, bring out Sangan. Ties of the Brethren, target Sangan. Special out Lilith, Malice, and then you can use a Lilith tribute Sangan to. Now, if you don't have Light Stage in hand, you set Reincarnation. But if you do have Light Stage in hand, then that one you can just set Back to the Front.
Oh,
then
yeah.
you can let me see what's next. Sangan will search roll, play Light Stage to get your Reincarnation set pass. Then during your opponent, as soon as they search, Reincarnation roll lock them, and when they go to end their turn, Back to the Front, bring back Sangan. Now you use either Lilith or Malice, it doesn't matter which one, tribute both, and set any card, and then use Sangan's effect again to search Yata. Now on your turn, you can summon Yata, attack, and just continuously, lock them out of gathering more resources.
Cool.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was really good. All right, well, guys, what a terrific discussion. Really enjoyed the different viewpoints that you both brought. It was very fun to discuss this because I really think Konami did a nice job shaking things up. So, Diablos, again, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Casey, same thing, man. Always appreciate that you're able to do the discussion with us.
Of course. I love being on here.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys so much for checking out this latest ban list discussion. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Also, we would love to have you guys be subscribers to the channel. If you ever want to catch what we're doing live, we'd also love to have you guys be a part of our Twitch community. Hey, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
But I wait for your next challenge. I know that you'll be back.